Good evening, traders. This is Sunday evening at 7:40 p.m. Eastern Time. I just wanted to do a quick update showing you guys some of the earnings that are going to be reported tomorrow so we could try to formulate a strategy to profit on the earnings calls, whether they miss or beat. I just want to look at Citibank first, and I want to show you something. After JP Morgan reported bad earnings, it looks like Citibank has increasing volume to the downside, along with Bank of America and a few other ones. That's not good. Now the 200-day moving average is at 388, and we got to close at 395 on Friday. So right now we have a short-term uptrend going on in Citibank that dates back from September, and that's right around, so this 200-day moving average is going to be support, and then after that we'll look for 380 and then eventually the 362 area if we miss on earnings. If we beat earnings, look for this 430 area to be tested again. Now if Citi does miss, it's going to be pretty bad for the banking sector, and financials could lead the market down. And then after the bell closes, we have Apple reporting, and I already went over in my last video that Apple really needs to blow away earnings, else that could bring the NASDAQ down. So a miss of Citi. Zion Bank also reports after the close. If these two banks miss and then Apple misses, I could assure you that the market will be led down. So the VIX could get a pop this week. That's something we're looking at. The dollar could most likely catch a bounce. The euro US dollar pair had a little decline after its amazing up move on Friday, and I think that this week is going to be a really great week, and I think we should really work hard of being prepared for the trading that's going to take place. Next one we're looking at is Halliburton, and we made a fresh daily time frame high of 35.89. It's the highest point that we've been in a year, and we consolidated, and it looks like we closed at highs at 35.82. That looks great. If Halliburton beats on earnings, we don't have any near-term resistance, so 38 looks like a decent round number that could be approached. If we miss on earnings, then 33.38, which is the 21-day moving average, looks like some support that could be significant in the stock. And the reason, you always see this stock holding a decent ground and continuing to go up is because a lot of this has to do with news-driven events that take place, but because most of their work comes from the government and from the military. So when you see gaps in the stock, most likely we could either think that there's been some kind of bad news or good news. Now I'm looking at MMR, McMoran Exploration. This company deals with crude, and they deal with a little bit of natural gas. Sorry guys, I'm not exactly sure where I left off. My internet just went out again, but it's back up now. I know we were looking at this MMR. I just gave you a brief description of what the company does. We've had a pretty big run up since this 11 level that we were at in September. Now we're at 19. And this thing is a decent day trading stock as well. So over the past 3 days we slipped off and we hit a high of 1980. The year high looks around this 1890 level. I'm not sure the exact number, but that's a general vicinity of where it's at. So if we miss on earnings, we're going to look for 1715 to be some support, and then eventually this 15 will be a key level for us. And if we beat 1980 will be the short-term resistance, and then we could even lift up higher. And I believe this will be a great stock for day trading because they report before the open. This one will definitely be on my radar, and I'm looking at a 1 minute time frame at this, and as you can see, it's a nice trade. The open was at 1883, and then we sold all the way down to 1808. Anytime you could get 80 cents out of a $20 stock, you use up little buying power, and that right there, that move in the first 45 minutes could be your whole day. After the close, we have CCK reporting, and a lot of times what I will do is I will highlight the stocks that had substantial amounts of institutional buying or selling. In the reports, when they report them, I want to make sure that a lot of people are interested in the stock, because then we'll have volatility and we could create levels that night for the following trading day. So right here it looks like we made a year-to-date high, and we hit a high of 30.11 on Friday. So the past week we've really ran up on increasing volume, which is great. If we beat earnings, we have no near-term resistance, being that on the weekly time frame we passed that level up and we made fresh highs. So I think 32 could be a reasonable number for us to hit. And with a miss, this 21 and 50-day moving average look like a target that could be approached around this 2870 level. Alright, looking at RRC Range Resources, their chart looks really poised to pop. If I had to rate this chart, I'd rate it at A-. I mean, it really looks like it wants to go. The 5-day moving average is ascending along with the 21, and the 50-day moving average is turned up. If we beat earnings, we're going to look to take out this previous high, and then the 100-day moving average around this 39.58 level. We could get even higher than that if they blow away earnings. So Range Resources will probably be one of the main ones that I trade on Tuesday. Alright, then we have VMW report, and VMW always has nice volume when it comes to earnings. We had this high that we put in, and I think that we're going to approach this if we miss on earnings around the 72.8 level. Now I'm going to switch to a daily time frame, and if we beat on earnings, 89.18 is going to be our resistance. I'm not saying we're going to hit that very quickly, but if we beat, I think that will eventually start making higher lows and approach that once again. So 83 is going to be the short-term resistance. All right, then we have IBM reporting. IBM has just been gunning upward. Look at this thing. That's a weekly time frame. Now I'm going to switch to a monthly time frame. IBM's at all-time highs here. So if Big Blue beats on earnings, 147 will be approached, and then 150 we can look towards. That looks like a decent number. And if we miss, we're going to look around this 134.33 level and this 136.09 level for support. And last but not least, we have STLD Steel Dynamics. They're a steel company, and when they report, it also affects the other steel stocks. So we can look forward to seeing some valuable information on the steel sector. You know, Nucor, US Steel, symbol X, AK Steel, Reliance Steel. So it's going to be some good insight. And if we beat on earnings, the 200-day moving average will be hit, and that's around the 1554 level. Alright guys, have a good evening, get some sleep, be ready for tomorrow. It's going to be a firework trading session. I really have a feeling that the volume's going to seep back in, and I will give you the recap after the close to let you know what I traded, and I will also point out who's reporting earnings tomorrow so we could get another strategy going into the Tuesday trading session.